Toru Higakure is the UA traitor, and she is going to single-handedly change the entire story of My Hero Academia forever. For some reason, it seems like people don't like the fact that Toru is the traitor, when there's so many different pieces of evidence out there that show that she is in fact the UA traitor. Like for example, her presence in the USJ arc, where for the entirety of the arc she was seemingly nowhere to be found, to the point that even when 𝚲𝚘𝚙𝚢 was doing the roll call, he only counted up to 19 people.
16, 17, 18, 19. Everyone seems to be unharmed except for that boy whose legs were all messed up.
And then right after that, Toru said that she saw 𝚲𝚘𝚎 running around against the villains, while also saying that she was in the area zone where Shoto was. Which is interesting because if you look at the map that Horikoshi drew specifically for us, that would mean that Toru Higakure was on the opposite side of the map at the exact same time. Also, if you remember when Class A was voting for the class representative in the beginning of the series, there was only 16 names of the students who received a point, which is most likely because those 16 characters voted for themselves. However, 3 of the students voted for somebody else. We know that Ochako and Ida voted for Deku because they said it, and we learned that Shoto voted for Momo during their class exams. But that only made 19 people who have voted, and the only person whose name and presence wasn't in this was Toru Higakure. And you can even go to the most blatant form of evidence that I often use, which is the fact that before the Hideout Raid arc, Class 1A was trying to find out what they can do over the break together. And interestingly enough, Toru Higakure randomly brought up the idea to go to the shopping mall. And randomly enough, that was the exact same shopping mall that Shigaraki found himself walking through, which initiated unwanted contact from Deku and Shigaraki. There's so much evidence that proves that Toru Higakure is the UA traitor, and that evidence can only be found when you subscribe to Herovation with post notification bells on. Say hi in the comments. But now that it's confirmed that she does have ties to All For One, I want to talk about what that actually means. Because if you go back to the beginning of the series and you answer all the questions that everyone has about Toru Higakure, knowing that she is the UA traitor and connected to All For One, then you might agree with me in the fact that Toru Higakure very much could change the entire fabric of My Hero Academia, because she might not be what we think she is. Being that she's connected to All For One, it's very much likely that she could be considerably more powerful than she gives credit for. And the reason why I propose that is because of 2 different events: the UA entrance exams, which she had to have gone through in order to get into UA, and also the initial physical exam that Class 1A went through in their very first day in UA. If you look at the final results of the quirk apprehension test, it showed that Deku got last place in spite of having an astronomical score in the ball throw, which was only second to Ochako's infinite distance. And the same concept could be used for Mineta, where he's placed 19th despite having probably the best record in the repeated side steps. And at 18th place you have Toru Higakure, who in all respect is not viewed as somebody who is fast or strong in any capacity at all, especially considering that the quirk apprehension test is nothing but a physical where you are allowed to use your quirk. And with her quirk just being invisibility, making her just a regular schoolgirl, I still find it very difficult to believe that she is above Deku and Mineta, even though they probably have some of the top scores in one respective exercise. And the reason for that can very much connect to the main thing that everyone asks about Toru Higakure. How in the heck was she able to pass the UA entrance exam? Well, now that we know that she connected with All For One, there are only a few logical options. Either 1, she's been lying to us this entire time and has been actually trained in combat, or 2, All For One did what he would do to any and every other person that he wants to manipulate and give them a second quirk and instructions on how to move so that it can be beneficial to his overarching plan. I like to think that it's more so the latter than the former, because over the last 40 chapters of us seeing how All For One operates, this is the most legitimate option that there is. And if in fact Toru Higakure either has multiple quirks or she is actually physically strong, then this is really bad for Class A in the future of My Hero Academia. Horikoshi made All For One imply to us the viewers that Toru Higakure is his friend, meaning only the villains and us the viewers know of Toru Higakure's true nature. And All Might Deku and Class 1A have zero idea what Toru Higakure is about. This is gonna make us more keen to where Toru Higakure is in every single panel whenever we see Class 1A. And it's likely that Toru is going to eventually show what she actually is made of, and either capturing Deku for All For One's plans, or giving All For One and Shigaraki the blueprint of every single character in Class A. Considering that the biggest war in the entire story of My Hero Academia is right around the corner, Toru Higakure is about to be the most pivotal character in the entire story. Almost as pivotal as you watching this video right here.